Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, or good whenever. There's a reason why they say you're not supposed to listen to stupid old white men, because we're so stupid, we'll tell you the truths about things that all the other people, the politically compliant people, psychologically conditioned, the prison camp people, the PCs, do not mention. They dare not mention, and most of them, I'd say 99%, haven't got a clue that they're under some sort of psychosis. PC, Program Codex, is actually a program designed by people or experts on evolution of psychology, or psychological evolution. How our psychologies evolve through programming, whether it's programming negatively or positively, through nurturing, through our education, through the example for our parents, etc., etc. Now, if you condition people through various ruses and promises and fake promises, then on policies that are based on no substantial scientific evidence whatsoever, but the people who are becoming compliant, psychologically compliant, the PCs, are more and more becoming psychotic as a class of people, and there's no doubt about this. And if you want to know why they are psychotic, it's because they all must tell lies about things they know are not true, and this is the politicians amongst them, and the ones who must know they're telling lies about things like Australia can do something about climate change or is involved in action on climate change, when it's actually the opposite is the case. They're increasing the amount of CO2 Australia is making every year, simply by government employers having more and more cars, driving away in more and more cars. And that's just a simple thing like that. The fact is, they don't want to say, well, all public servants shouldn't have a car, would reduce the CO2. Well, they don't want to say that, so it shows you they're not genuine and that they're being dishonest and trying to make a political point out of something there's no point in actually bothering to mention unless you've got some rational explanation what actually can be mathematically configured to make any sense. And that they can't make any sense out of this one particular issue of climate change is the big issue that they all fixated upon and now can't get off. They can't step off the roundabout, the prison camp they're on. All these people in the left are like, imagine all those people being rounded up in the war by the Nazis, put on the trains, herded off to concentration camps. Well, they've sort of done that with the people, with a PC class of people, the collective PC. Now, that's what is a psychological collective that then are obliged to tell lies. These are adults telling lies. They're telling lies to children. They're telling lies to their own children, and then forcing lies upon other people's children about all sorts of things, about gender, for a start. There's another big lie, there's only one gender, all this gender flexibility stuff. A lot of people, normal people, say, well, that's a boy, I've got a boy and a girl, or two boys and a girl. They know what they are, and then the family's a man and a woman, heterosexual man and woman. They pass on that psychology to their children, robustly so. And rightfully so, because that is their right as a family, but the left because the left have come from poor family backgrounds or backgrounds that do not have the same example of being honest with their children at all times. Some may have been dishonest, and they said the left are being dishonest with their children at all time on any number of issues. So because they're being honest with their own children, the political left, if they have children, have to be dishonest with their own children. So when they go into parliament or speak in public about issues, they've got to be dishonest in public. Otherwise, when they go home to see their children, they have to then have a confrontation with the children, that the children say, well, you're saying this at home and you're saying that in the public. So they've locked themselves in by very cleverly manipulated over several generations into a position they can no longer get out of, other than crying out to the contractor saying, well, I've had enough of this, I want off this train to nowhere, to my own hell. And these people are going on a train to their own hell No one else is hell. They've decided to get on this train because there's money in it. There's financial reward, there's status, there's ego. I don't know where the ego is involved. If you're sitting there saying, I'm going to change the climate because we are following Greta Thunberg because she's a 16-year-old girl who doesn't even go to school and never done any science or geography in life, and they're the ones now they rely on to consult with, is a child. An uneducated child is now the go-to person for everyone in the world who believes they're going to do something about climate change, which makes no more sense than children going to see Santa Claus and believing they're going to get presents. That makes actually more sense because at least it's a happy thing. But the climate change thing is making an awful lot of people, especially young people, unhappy. And being unhappy, which is part of the program of PC, which is an evil program built by evil people. It's based on the understanding of how humans can be controlled and manipulated in a program one way or other, positively or negatively. And when they say it's progressing in a negative and regressive fashion. And that's what it is doing. Specifically regressive in that it's making people unhappier and less productive and less useful to the system. And it's based on the idea that they won't need as many people in the future to do all the jobs because of robots and AI and stuff like that. So they're trying to make as many feel redundant to they want to make them feel no longer any use, or the only use they've got is to do something about climate, which is, we know, common sense says, especially in Australia or England or America, which is only a very small part of the population, we can do very little about the rest of the world and how much it goes and does its own thing and makes uses coal. No, we can't do nothing about that. Yet we make a lot of noise in these countries about something like that, just to cover up the fact that they're destroying the young people's future because of the way real estate prices are being inflated beyond the pale, beyond any economic sense whatsoever. And so that's what they've done with PC. It's just a program Codex designed to sort of coerce and manipulate as much of society as possible into what is basically a prison camp mentality that they can no longer extract themselves from, otherwise they end up going broke, or actually just having a pleasant life, living within the realm of the truth rather than to live within the realm of total falsehoods. And that's all PC is. It is a lie. People have to live a lie, so therefore they live in a psychosis, so therefore they get angry because they're confused about why they happen to live in this lie, when they know for a fact that they are, and they're having to lie to children and their own children, which is a very sad case. That's all PC is. It's a psychological conditioning, creating a prison camp for all those people who are involved in it one way or the other, either in the pay or your child of, or at school, a prisoner of school, a prisoner of feminism, promoting all sorts of aberrations towards society. Because it itself, feminism is not women's liberation, it's a prison for women. It's some women wanting to tell the rest of women how to be, which is not liberated at all, is it? And has anyone ever really tried to tell women what to be? I mean, what are women? Men know you can't tell women how to be, so why would women think they can tell women how to be? That is bound to cause an argument.